What would you do if the person you loved lost everything overnight? When the court froze Kim Soo-hyun's assets in a shocking legal twist, the world expected silence, or worse, abandonment. But one voice rose above the noise. Even now, I stand by him, declared Kim Jiwon, stunning fans and critics alike. Why did she say it? What does this mean for both their futures? Let's uncover the full story, only here on Red Carpet Revealed. It began with whispers, then it exploded like a storm no one could outrun. On a crisp spring morning in Seoul, just as cherry blossoms began falling across the Han River, the entertainment industry was hit with a tremor that would soon become an earthquake. Kim Soo-hyun, one of Korea's most beloved actors, once dubbed the nation's crown prince, woke up to devastating news. The Seoul Central District Court had ordered a temporary freeze on his personal and corporate assets. The reason? A massive civil liability lawsuit linked to an endorsement fallout triggered by the tragic and scandal-ridden death of former actress Kim Soo-hyun. She wasn't just a name in passing, she was a haunting figure from Kim Soo-hyun's complicated past. A past now weaponized against him. Scandal nobody saw coming. The story that led to this legal and emotional catastrophe didn't start with Kim Soo-hyun, but it would eventually swallow him whole. Early 2024, Kim Soo-hyun, who had remained largely out of the public eye following her prior DUI controversies, was revealed to have been working on a secret collaborative project with Kim Soo-hyun. While the details of the project were buried in NDAs and confidentiality clauses, industry insiders hinted that the late actress had been hoping to stage a quiet comeback, supported privately by Kim Soo-hyun, who had long considered her a misunderstood soul. Then came the tragedy. Kim Soo-hyun was found dead in her apartment in November 2024. The cause of death was officially listed as accidental overdose, but speculations flooded social media: mental health issues, industry blacklisting, and unresolved personal entanglements. At first, Kim Soo-hyun remained silent, choosing to mourn privately. But it didn't take long for connections between the two to resurface. Photos of them attending private events, training in the same studio, and leaked messages expressing deep concern from Kim Soo-hyun to Kim Soo-hyun just days before her death began circulating. The court of public opinion roared to life. Some called him a savior. Others accused him of enabling a troubled star. Brands, however, don't wait for verdicts. They respond to controversy. Contracts burned, reputations torn. By January 2025, the real damage began to surface. Major endorsement partners, luxury fashion houses, skincare empires, and beverage conglomerates, started pulling out one after another. Contracts were terminated prematurely, citing moral clause violations and reputational risks. What was once a glittering line of billboards showcasing Kim Soo-hyun's face across Asia turned to shadows. His visage disappeared overnight. It wasn't just cancellations. These brands demanded restitution. Some claimed that the actor's failure to disclose the depth of his association with Kim Soo-hyun had caused irreparable damage to brand trust and public image. One conglomerate demanded South Korean $1.5 billion in damages. Another filed a lawsuit in Hong Kong, citing cross-border brand confusion. The numbers were staggering. By March, reports surfaced that Kim Soo-hyun had already paid over South Korean $1.8 billion in settlements, and more were coming. In April, his management company attempted to mediate, offering to restructure endorsement liabilities and citing lack of direct responsibility. The court disagreed. The final blow came in May 2025 when the Seoul court ordered a provisional asset freeze, valued at nearly 20 billion South Korean won. Broke, they said, but not alone. The headlines were merciless. From superstar to scapegoat, Kim Soo-hyun's fortune gone with the wind. Social media painted a bleak picture, a fallen king exiled from the empire he helped build. And yet, in the middle of this brutal downfall, a single voice emerged. A voice that cut through the static. A voice that refused to let the world forget who he really was beneath the weight of scandal. It was Kim Jiwon. The two had long been linked professionally and romantically by fans, especially after their electric chemistry in Queen of Tears. While neither had ever confirmed the rumors, their bond, quiet, steady, and profound, had always hovered just beneath the surface. But on June 10, 2025, Kim Ji-won shattered the silence. Unexpected appearance on YT and Star Focus, she delivered a message that would stop the industry in its tracks. I know what the world is saying about him. I've heard it all, but I also know the person behind the headlines. Even now, I stand by him. It was neither scripted nor rehearsed. The trembling in her voice was real. The tears that welled in her eyes weren't for show. And suddenly, this wasn't just about a man losing his fortune. It's about loyalty, love, and belief in the face of destruction. The industry reacts. The reaction was swift and divided. Some praised Kim Ji-won's courage. Articles described her as a beacon of strength, Korea's Joan of Arc, and the last real star in an industry of shadows. Others were more critical. Netizens questioned the timing. Was this love, or PR damage control? Why now? Her agency, Soohyun Studio, issued a brief but firm statement. Miss Kim Ji-won's words reflect her personal stance. She speaks from her heart. We ask the public to respect her decision to support Mr. Soohyun during this difficult time. Meanwhile, Kim Soohyun's Own Agency, gold medalist, broke its silence with a surprisingly emotional update. Mr. Kim Soohyun is deeply moved by Miss Ji-won's support. He is currently cooperating fully with legal procedures and hopes to resolve matters responsibly. We appreciate those who continue to believe in his integrity. At hell, public war. But what of the man at the center of it all? Sources close to Kim Soohyun revealed he had voluntarily stepped away from all projects for the remainder of 2025. According to an anonymous staff member, he doesn't even care about the roles right now. He's trying to protect the people around him. That's all he talks about. He reportedly sold one of his luxury villas in Hanam-dong to cover legal fees. Rumors claim he turned down a 5 billion South Korean won streaming project deal just last week, unwilling to put anyone else at risk. Friend of Kim Ji-won, speaking under condition of anonymity, said the actress had insisted on staying by his side, even when advised against it. She had reportedly cancelled multiple brand appearances and delayed her next drama shoot. She said she couldn't pretend everything was fine while the person she cared about was being torn apart publicly. The drama wasn't just in the headlines, it was in their lives. In late May 2025, reports emerged from a local cafe owner in Yanggu that Kim Ji-won had been seen walking hand in hand with a man wearing a cap and mask. Her agency refused to comment, but those who knew better said she had quietly gone to be with him, staying several days, away from the paparazzi, away from the industry's venom. A handwritten letter, reportedly from Kim Soohyun to Kim Ji-won, was leaked by an anonymous source close to the actor. While unconfirmed, its contents were deeply intimate. You don't have to stay. I wouldn't blame you if you left. The world thinks I've lost everything, but when I hear your voice, I remember what it's like to breathe. Fans who had long suspected a relationship between the two were now certain. But this was no mere romance, it was a story of two souls holding each other upright in the storm. The industry's cruel mirror. In Seoul, the entertainment world was shifting like a fractured glacier. Producers who once fought to cast Kim Soohyun now deleted his name from casting sheets. He was quietly removed from a much-anticipated Netflix historical drama, replaced by another rising actor. Streaming services took down promotional banners. Brands issued cold, carefully worded statements. We wish him well, we hope for resolution, no further comment. And then there was Kim Ji-won, who refused to play the game. She appeared at a UNICEF charity event in June wearing no makeup, dressed in all black. When asked if she was doing okay, her answer was simple: ask me that when he's okay. The crowd fell silent. He didn't need to explain whom she meant. When fans fight back, public response was polarizing, but passionate. Supporters began trending the hashtag #StanWithSoohyun and #Ji1Loyalty, flooding social media with clips of his past humanitarian work, fan meet highlights, and behind-the-scenes videos where he comforted staff and gave generously. Old interviews resurfaced, one where Kim Soohyun said, "I don't fear losing fame. Fear losing the people who saw the real me." Kim Ji-won's role in this unfolding redemption arc was undeniable. She had not just defended him in words, she was defending him with her career. A petition demanding brands reinstate their contracts with Kim Soohyun reached over 500, signatures in 3 days, but not all voices were kind. Some accused Kim Jiwon of acting out of guilt. She must have known something, they said. Others argued she was simply using the sympathy wave. Entertainment columnist wrote, "This is not a story about loyalty. It's a PR campaign in disguise. She knows what she's doing." But if it was all for show, Kim Jiwon was committing too much to the performance. She turned down a major beauty endorsement deal worth South Korean won billion just to avoid being part of an ad campaign while Kim Soohyun remained in legal limbo, a love the industry couldn't control. 1 week later, the couple was spotted again, this time in Busan. No disguises. No bodyguards. Just two actors walking through Hyundai beaches if the world hadn't tried to tear them apart. Candid photos showed Kim Soohyun smiling gently while looking down at Kim Jiwon, who clutched his arm. The sight was heartbreakingly human, and fans everywhere cried at the caption that followed. He looked at her like she was the only thing keeping him alive. Their agencies remained silent. But the public had spoken, they weren't ready to let go of this couple. The turning point, a secret recording. Then, in a twist no one anticipated, a secret recording was leaked online by an anonymous insider within one of the disgruntled brands that had sued Kim Soohyun. The voice in the recording? A marketing executive admitting privately that the company knew Kim Soohyun wasn't responsible for Kim Soo-hyun's relapse or tragic death, but that cutting ties fast would preserve market integrity. The fallout was immediate. Public opinion shifted overnight. Influencers called out corporate hypocrisy. Legal analysts demanded the court revisit the case. And suddenly, Kim Soohyun wasn't just a fallen star, he was a victim of ruthless opportunism. Kim Jiwon, when asked to comment on the leaked audio, simply said, "I knew the truth long before the rest of the world did." Redemption in sight. By July 2025, a court appeal was filed. Kim Soohyun's lawyers moved to reverse the asset freeze, citing both lack of direct liability and evidence of brand misrepresentation. The court acknowledged newly submitted material evidence and ordered a partial lift of the freeze pending further investigation. The moment was historic. When Kim Soohyun stepped out of the courthouse surrounded by reporters, he didn't make a grand statement. Instead, he turned to the crowd, bowed deeply, and said only, "Thank you for believing in me, even when I didn't believe in myself." Standing just a few steps behind him, holding a single umbrella over both their heads, was Kim Jiwon. The world didn't need confirmation anymore. It had witnessed something rarer than fame. It had witnessed faith. What comes next? Kim Soohyun's return to screen remains uncertain, but insiders say a script has been quietly passed between him and Kim Jiwon. A raw, fictional love story based on two people fighting to stay whole in a broken world. No confirmation has been given. Industry buzz says it might be the most anticipated comeback project of the decade. In the meantime, the two continued to live quietly, away from the flashbulbs, making rare appearances at charity events and small gatherings. No wedding rumors, no grand gestures. Just silent, steady companionship. Final words. Not just a scandal, a test of love. An industry that eats loyalty alive and worships image over substance. Kim Jiwon made a choice few dared to make. She didn't just defend Kim Soohyun, she stood between him and the avalanche, and refused to move. And Kim Soohyun, stripped of fame, fortune, and corporate friends, learned what no award could teach him, that love, when real, outlasts everything. Even now, she stands by him. That may be the most powerful headline